We love cake so much we decided to make it a full-time business. For me, Sammy.
And me, Bronya.
Join us on our journey of discovery as we meet fellow cake professionals, artisan cake makers and home bakers who will give tips and advice on the Business of Cake Making podcast, glitter included.
Follow us on Instagram and listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Sign up to our newsletter and visit the blog at daisycakecompany.co.uk. Hello.
Oh, hello.
writing things.
I was writing something down and I missed the whole lot.
You've been very, very studious.
I was writing down a word that I keep forgetting. It's a really simple word, but
will we hear it sometime in this podcast?
Yes, you will. That's why I wrote it down so I wouldn't go, oh, what's that word? Like I normally would.
We never do that. Oh, hello. How are you? You've been poorly sick, haven't you?
I have been poorly. It's ruined my social calendar. I was meant to
some sort of festival today.
Yeah, it was Friday and Saturday. I was meant to be selling, and I was too poorly for that, so I couldn't go. I've been in bed. I've been on the sofa. I've been sweating.
Nice, and the weather's really nice for illness as well, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's meant to rain this weekend as well, so I'm pretty gutted. Not only have I lost money by not working, I have sweated the weekend away because it's been nice.
So that's just what's happened. I've sweated.
Yeah, but these things happen. So hey ho, I'm recovering now. I just have a little.
You're not sick though, are you? You're not.
I don't think so. I think sometimes I overwork and I get overtired, and I might spend 12 hours sleeping. But yeah, I'm not often sick. All right, if I am, I just work through it.
Yeah, do you know we're of that age, aren't we? We're of that age that goes, "Oh, we're fine. Leave us alone. We're fine," and then we drop down again.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I am much better. Just very hot, but it is. Again, hot today. It looks glorious out there.
Yeah,
the dogs are sat in the sun.
We're going to the beach on Wednesday.
Are you?
Decided we're going to go to the beach on Wednesday.
Oh, how nice!
We're going to go to Worthing. We're going to go down to the Bluebird Cafe. We're going to walk along the beach.
Oh my God, that is the best restaurant ever!
I know, right?
They do the best cakes. So how come you're going there?
Because every time we go to Worthing, that's where we go.
What? Oh my God, that's my hometown.
I know. The thing is, the Bluebird Cafe is like famous.
Is it? Oh, I didn't realise.
Yeah, well, I didn't realise. We happened to fall on it one day when we went down there and we went for a walk and we happened to fall on the Bluebird Cafe. And then the amount of people I've spoken to since would go, oh, if you go to Worthing, you've got to go to the Bluebird Cafe. I'm like,
it's phenomenal. It's always packed as well.
Always packed.
But you can take your dogs.
I know.
Yeah.
And that part of the beach you can let the dogs on as well. So
we will have
a day
absolutely. I love it.
So if you're in Worthing and you see me, say hi.
I will, but I won't be.
Right. So, hello, welcome back to our new 6 chunks that we do, because we do 6 weeks in chunks. And this time we are going to do something very different. We've never done this before. We are going to do a short series.
Yeah.
We are going to do the cake business fundamentals. So all the fundamentals you need to run a cake business, because if you're like me and Sammy, you go, oh, let's run a cake business. And you don't think about it. You think, I can make cakes. I'm wonderful at making cakes. I've never run a business before.
Yeah, and you just fall into it.
Yeah, and you fall into it, and there's like no direction. And then someone comes along and says to you, or asks you a business question, you're like, I don't know.
And you hear white noise.
So and none of these things that we're going to talk about are scary, because that's the other thing. I think quite often when people start talking to you about business fundamentals, it all sounds really technical and scary.
It does. And it's so easy. And it's stuff that it's not hard.
None of it's hard. It's already all in your brain, or it's stuff that you need to just pick out of your brain to get focus. Yeah. And that's what it will do. It will focus you. And believe me, if me and Sammy can do it,
so can you.
Anyone can do it. None of it's hard, but without it, your business will be harder.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. It helps simplify the road that you're going to travel.
Yes.
And it makes you ask yourself questions that you would not have necessarily asked yourself.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I know when I started, I was like, I'm going to go to a fair and I'm going to sell some cupcakes. And I did that for a few months. And then someone went, do you make big cakes? I'm like, yeah, why not? I make big cakes as well. Hey, yeah. And then someone went, do you make wedding cakes? Yeah, I make one of them too. And it all kind of gets really messy because you've never sat and gone.
And you just fall into it.
Yeah, yeah. And then at some point you'll be doing too much and you'll be burnt out and it'll all be a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with Sammy's favourite thing to mention at any point. A business
plan. Very, very important.
So we're going to start off with a business plan. We're going to talk about what should be in the business plan, and then all the things in the business plan, or things that could be in your business. They don't have to be, but things that could be in your business plan, we're going to do over the next 5 weeks after this one. So in the 6 week, there's going to be a 6 week series on all the things that you can be putting in your business plan. So when you get back in September, after a very, very, very busy summer, fingers crossed, you'll be ready to sit down and go for it. So
today, what are we covering?
Today we are talking about the business plan. That's where we go in today. We are going to start with the business plan. What is one? Why you should have one? So yeah,
I've written what, why, what, where, when.
exactly. And that's, to be honest, it's one of those things is that I think business plans sound really scary to people because you think, that I've got to take it to a bank. I've got to
the bank manager
with this.
I have a special folder with all printed out and everything. But my business plan is just always written on my notebook.
I mean, every so often, obviously I've been in business a long time. And I just probably every 4 or 5 months, I sit down with a piece of notepaper and I just kind of let everything out of my brain onto a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of my business plan. That's like what I want to do, where I want to go. And it's all that sort of stuff. It doesn't have to be. And unless you're that kind of person.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
Who can do a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And so forth.
Financial projections.
Yes.
Pie charts, graphs. But it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be as scary as all that tut, really. So
definitely not.
Go on, sorry?
I said definitely not.
Oh, right. So since you love business plans so much, what is a business plan?
A business plan is a kind of a projection of what and how you want your business to go. So why are you starting the business? What are your objections?
I object. Sorry.
What you want to achieve.
Yeah.
And why.
And who you're selling to.
Yeah, who, yeah. And
so over the next 6 weeks, we've got, today we're doing business plan. Then we're going to talk about your niche. So what do you want to sell?
Your ideal, yes.
Yeah, then your ideal client. What do you want to sell? Who do you want to sell it to? Your ideal client. How much you're going to charge? So your price point. Your branding and marketing. So what are you going to look like, and how are you going to tell the world about yourself? And also your customer journey. We've never spoken about customer journey before, but
no, that's really integral.
Yeah.
And you might not really, and you might not realise this, but the way your customer sees you and their journey can make a difference on your business.
Yeah, because it makes a difference whether they come back, whether they recommend you.
Yeah,
so they're the things that we're going to talk about. Your niche, your ideal client, your price point, your branding and marketing, and your customer journey. And none of them are terrifying. And they're already in your head. They're already all in your brain. And sometimes sitting down and writing it out just gives you that opportunity to focus your energies.
Yeah.
Because like I say, I started off with cupcakes, and then someone said, do you want to make a big cake? And then do you want to make a wedding cake? And I kind of began to drop cupcakes. Whereas if I'd sat and written a plan, I would have noticed that my niche was cupcakes. And I was getting really good at cupcakes, and I was selling more and more of them. And what I could have done, had I bothered to sit down and look at it, I could have gone, right, so my niche is cupcakes, therefore I can expand my cupcake business, and I could be making cupcake towers, not big wedding cakes. I could be aiming this at a certain type of person who wants that type of cake. And I think, looking back now, I really missed a trick all those years ago, that I actually moved away from a niche.
I think so as well. And
I moved away from a niche without even realising that was what my niche was, because I didn't know what any of this was.
Yeah. But you wouldn't have got to where you are now.
No.
Teaching everybody about the mistakes you made along the way.
You've got to make mistakes in order to talk about them on a podcast.
Yes. Yeah. And sorry, carry on.
No, go on.
I was going to say, how often should you do a business plan? Yeah, like you say, you do it every few months.
Yeah,
I think an update. I tend to do mine about once a year.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it depends. And also, if you're changing direction a little bit, or you feel like you're changing direction, sit down and work out whether it's worth it. So, I mean, some people do it on the January the 1st, sort of like that's their New Year thing. Some people like to do like back to school September. Yeah. It's like getting all your ducks in a row, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting everything in a row.
Or quarterly as well.
Yes.
I can remember doing a business course, and they were very like, yeah, you should do it quarterly.
Yeah, just to check in with yourself, I suppose. Maybe if you don't, I mean, I like to sit down and actually go through it. And
I stand up when I do mine. No, I don't. Sorry.
Oh, not at your age, love.
No, I do sit down.
You're doing enough sitting down and standing up making cakes. I like to just every so often go through everything and make sure that what I'm doing is what I want to do, or if something's creeping in and I'm enjoying it, does it fit into anything else I'm doing? Because, you know, sometimes you get really sidetracked, don't you? Kind of go, I'm really making cheesecakes at the moment. Yeah. For me, at the moment, I'm really enjoying making sourdough, right? I'm really enjoying making sourdough. And I said to Jules the other day, I could sell this. And he's like, yeah, you can sell. He says, like, but it'd have to be completely separate from your cake business, because otherwise it's going to muddy the water. I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah. Then yesterday I went, I really fancy making some savoury pastries. He was like, why? Why do you want to do that? And that's what it is. You just need to check in that you're not weakening your business going forward very often. And
when you look at your business plan and you've rewritten it out after, you know, however long you do it, and you realise something you're doing you're not enjoying, you can get rid of it. Yeah. You can go, this isn't making me money. I'm not enjoying this. Yeah. I need to reevaluate that part of my business or refresh it. That maybe I need to take a different path.
Yeah. It's just questioning sometimes, isn't it? What are you doing something just because you've always done it, or because that's what one person asked and it's just like snowballed? Yeah. Just actually assessing that what you're doing is focusing on your business, your happiness, and your money-making abilities.
Yeah, I was just going to say that at the end of the day, we're all in it. We'd all rather just be going off to Worthing Bluebird Cafe. But at the end of the day, it's about making money, isn't it?
Yeah, we're all in business to make money.
Yeah, and we're all self-employed probably so that we can do it our own way.
Exactly.
As opposed to working for somebody else.
Yeah, we chose to run a business so we didn't have to be employed. But then you get into this thing sometimes that actually you're working either harder or what you're doing is less enjoyable than if you actually just rocked up and did a 9 to 5 and got a pay packet at the end of the week.
Streamline your business by doing the business plan.
Yeah.
To get rid of the flotsam and jetsam.
Oh, nice. Illness suits you.
No.
It's made your brain more creative. More wordy. I think also another thing that you can put in your business plan is your goals. Your goals.
Oh my God, definitely. Because if you don't have a goal, what are you aiming for? I mean, where are you going? Are you just going to work tirelessly on cakes, not knowing where you're going? You have a goal. You like on my I do a Christmas one where I set my goals for the year,
right?
And I love doing this, but you can go right. I want to make. I've set a goal this year, actually, which I'm not going to achieve, but I wanted to do 50 wedding cakes this year. I think I'm pretty sure I put 50 on my list.
Right.
So I over.
But that doesn't matter. Having a big goal and not hitting it, that's not a failure as long as you've done everything in your power to hit it.
Yeah.
Because I bet you've probably made more wedding cakes than had you not had the goal. Does that make sense? Had you not
definitely.
had that goal in place, you'd have just bumbled along and whatever came your way. But because you put a goal in place and everything went towards that, that's what I'm going to do. I bet you've made more wedding cakes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I think because I've moved, I've had quite a...
You've had a tumultuous year, haven't you?
I have rather. So I think I need to do... Well, I am actually going to be working on a new business plan whilst we're doing this course.
It's very exciting. Yeah. I think I will do mine alongside you because obviously my business has changed hugely.
Yeah. So you're a prime example of
the word pivot. Pivot. Yeah. I am that person right now. But so maybe we should do it together. Maybe we should have like a little summing up at the end of, what's in our goals and, and plans and everything. But yeah, I think having those goals in that plan, then everything that's in it can work towards that. And I know we've had we've done goal setting podcasts before. And there's a reason why you do it because it's the word focus. I keep going back to focusing your mind to run your business in a way that's going to be worthwhile for you. Yeah.
And this is a very important point, something that can get me and knock me over at the first hurdle is you go, I'm going to do a business plan. You sit at the table and you think, oh my God, I've got to do it all in one go.
Yes.
You don't.
No.
Do it I'm going to finish this podcast today and I'm going to make another coffee. I shall sit for a coffee worth writing a business plan about what we've discussed today.
Yeah.
So
it's like journaling your business, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've never really done journaling, but I know a lot of people do journaling, and it's a case of like getting what's in your head out onto a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And once it's on a piece of paper, you can kind of make sense of it a bit more.
Yeah.
And it's like journaling for your business, just sitting there and getting out what you're thinking onto a piece of paper, and then like tomorrow you might sit for another cup of coffee in the morning and go, right, and I'm going to do about my niche. What is my niche this time? And it's just putting all the I say, putting all your ducks in a row on a piece of paper.
Yeah. Or on a pad, so you don't lose your piece of paper.
I have to say, if you go through my notepad, you will find sort of like pages where I've just gone, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do the big. It's like big picture thinking, isn't it? It's the.
Yeah, my book's the same. Or I've got one page that just says 60, 3-tier, 9-inch.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think sorry, that's really I can relate. Hard relate on that.
Yeah.
Chocolate. Who was it that wanted chocolate?
Yeah. Yeah. So and you know, that could have been a bit of advice that I could have used years ago. Just use one book as opposed to lots of pieces of paper. It makes my life so much easier.
Having a notebook.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the other thing is that we work when we're working in our businesses, we're working in the nitty gritty all the time, aren't we? We're working in all like the minutiae, like the 6 inches and 3 tiers, and it's all like little bits and pieces, and shopping lists and to-do lists and bake lists, and we've got all that going on. And a business plan is just a way of stopping thinking about that for a few seconds.
Yeah.
To stop thinking about being in the business and doing all like the little nitty gritty things and stepping out of it and looking at the big picture. And I like a bit of big picture thinking every so often. I think it's, and I
you
did.
You do, definitely. You do more than me.
Yeah. That's because I don't work. It's because I don't get on with work. I just sit there and go, oh, what could I do in my life? But I remember I did a course with Sophie Cliff a few years ago about, I think it was about like goal setting and where do you want to be? And she did this thing about just sit for 10 minutes and write what you picture, what you want your life to be, or what you picture your life to be. And it's not about jetting around the world or cruising around the world. And it's not about like the big things. It's like, you know, I want a really nice house. I want a garden I can sit in and have a cup of tea in the morning. I want to be able to walk my dogs. And write all that down, and then how can you make that happen?
Yeah.
You know, so do it the same with your business. How do you want your business to look? What do you want your business to be like this time next year? Ideally, what's your dream business? It could be making 28-tier wedding cakes, or it could be, or it could be
just making flapjacks.
Yeah, but just earning a living from it, rocking up to a market, setting up,
making breakfast muffins,
or it could be running.
Sorry,
are you hungry?
Yes, I am. I made my breakfast. I left it over there. I just thought, oh yeah, I haven't had my breakfast.
It's like going to the supermarket when you're hungry. That's all you think about. But it could be also like running classes. Do you want to run a class, or do you want to do that to make your living? And if you can picture where you want your business to be in a year, your business plan is a way of getting from where you are now to what that picture is.
Yeah, from A to D.
Exactly. So
easy as A, B, C.
Right. So that's what we're going to do over the next 6 weeks. These are going to be shorter episodes because we know everyone's really, really busy at the moment, because kids are on holiday, people are making cakes, wedding season is in full swing. So they're going to be short and sweet episodes. And hopefully, when you get to September, you can start new term back to school vibes with a new business plan.
Yeah, I like it. So,
right, we've got something else new, haven't we?
Yeah. So we thought we'd jig it up a little bit, and instead of just doing product of the week, we're going to introduce top tips. Because
we wanted a new tune from Sammy. That's why I'm like,
well, I have practiced this morning, but who knows? It could go tits up.
Hey, it's the first. It's the first. No one knows what it's meant to sound like.
No.
I've heard it too.
But, okay. It's time for top tips, top tips. Everyone loves Bronya and Sammy's top tips. It was different than that, and it included tits. But I figured I'm going to keep it clean. So I have to replay that back again so I can get it right next time. Well, you know what I'm like. I change it.
It'll be different. I like the Bronya and Sammy's top tips.
Yes.
I like that.
It was Sammy and Bronya, and I thought, oh no, Bronya needs to go first because you start first in the alphabet.
that doesn't bother me which order it is.
It sounds good though, doesn't it?
It does.
Top tips.
Right, okay. What's your brand new top tip coming straight in?
So I do believe my top tip I may have recently done it, but I stand by it. Okay. So I recently made a boo-boo. Okay. I think it was in the pre-up to me being ill.
Okay.
And I did an 8-inch cake, but I put it on a 9-inch board and I didn't realise. So consequently, the buttercream on it was so thick. But I didn't, I think I was just, you know.
So the board underneath, we're not talking about the main board.
No.
So you had like a half an inch of buttercream.
Yeah. Okay. But when I gave her the cake, I went, I don't know why your cake is so big. And she went, oh, well, that doesn't matter. And I went, I just don't. I said, it's enormous, isn't it? So I got an email back from her, which is how I know that I've done this.
Right.
Okay. She said, now this is the wording. This is my top tip.
Right.
Constructive feedback for you, okay, not constructive criticism.
Yes.
And she said that the buttercream on the cake was delicious. My mum loved the decoration. She said everything about it was lovely, but the buttercream was really thick. So when I read it, I was like, oh my God. And you know, you get that sinking feeling. Yeah. It's the end of the world.
Yeah.
I sucked it all in.
Even though she said lots of lovely things, the one thing you're focusing on is
the buttercream. So I sat there and I went, why did this happen? And I've worked out. So I've gone through, I've done a fault analysis.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
To work out what has gone wrong. And I've realised, what a dick. I've used a 9-inch board because I had a 9-inch cake that week as well. Right. So I can understand what's happened. Yeah. What a dick. And I've gone back to her and instead of going, you don't fucking know what you're talking about, because in your head that's probably what you might think, even though I didn't.
How dare she? My cake was wonderful.
Yeah. And I've gone, thank you so much for your email. Constructive feedback is always good. And I really appreciate you taking the time to do this, because there are some people who would have gone off and just complained about that.
Yeah.
And I've realised what I've done. This is what I've done. I do apologise. I am sorry. And she went, thank you so much. That's wonderful to hear, you know. And so my top tip was, take the feedback and just absorb it, which I think I've said this previously, quite recently. And don't think that it is constructive criticism, which is completely different.
Yeah.
And if they do give you constructive criticism, don't take the word as criticism. Take it as constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And learn by it. Learn by your mistake.
We've all made humdingers mistakes. I mean, I don't know how many times I see every week on Facebook someone say, I've just made this cake and it's meant to be chocolate and I've made it in vanilla.
Yeah, I've done that before.
I mean, we've all done it, and someone will complain about it. And sometimes it's just best to go, totally take that on board.
Yeah.
Fess up. It's not about fess up. It's like, I take that on board. I understand, and then work it through with them rather than going onto the defensive and dare they say that about my cake?
Yeah. Because
Do you know what,
sometimes
though? If someone gave me a cake with half an inch of buttercream on, I'd be so happy. I'd be like, yes.
it was a very nice buttercream as well.
Exactly. What is there to talk about with too much buttercream? Seriously.
Yeah. But she was very sweet. So
right. So my top tip is a baking top tip.
Ooh.
And this happened to me this week, in fact. So therefore, that's why I'm talking about it. And I know we have talked about this before, but I'm just going to reiterate it. When you are baking and you are cracking your eggs, don't do it directly into the bowl of your ingredients. Because occasionally...
I think of you every time I crack eggs. Every time.
Because very occasionally, you will get a bad egg. And oh my God, they're disgusting when they're bad. And when you get a bad egg, this one, I cracked it. And as I cracked it, it was black inside. And I instantly threw it away. It didn't even get cracked open properly.
Yeah.
But if you crack a bad egg into your ingredients, you've got to scrap all your ingredients. Whereas if you crack your eggs into a separate bowl and then pour them into your ingredients, you haven't lost your ingredients.
Yes.
So it saves money. It may not save time. You've got one extra thing to wash up, but believe me, when you've just thrown
mine
away
into a cup.
Yeah. Do you do yours one at a time?
No, I tend to do 4. Oh. That's why I always think of you. Bronja saw this. We go, that one time I got a bad egg. But also, top tip is when you do that, if you crack an eggshell into it, it's easier to rescue than just doing it straight into a cake.
Yeah. And did you know that? So I remember. I probably do about 4 or 5 a go, actually, to be honest. And if you do get a bit of eggshell in it, either pick it out with another bit of eggshell. What are you doing?
If you shake the thing, it sinks to the bottom,
and then it will stick to the bottom.
Yeah.
So shake it. I've never shaken it like that though. I'm probably giving it a bit of a shake. And it will stick to the bottom of whatever bowl you're using. So when you pour your eggs out, it's usually stuck in the bottom of the thing.
Yeah, keep an eye out for it though. Don't just presume.
Yes. Crunchy bits, not great. Not unless they're meant to be crunchy bits in a cake.
Yeah.
But, in order to not ruin your cake and ruin all the ingredients, please break your eggs in a separate bowl. Because occasionally you get a nasty one. And oh my God, you will know. And if you break a nasty egg into your bowl, it doesn't have to be black. The smell will come up. And I did it in a brownie once, and it had, I don't know, about 500 grams of chocolate, and it had butter.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just heartbreaking.
And you've just wasted all those ingredients, and all you can smell is bad egg. And it's like, no, it's all got to go. And then what do you do with the mix?
Yeah.
Where do you throw it?
I'd throw it in the bin, actually. I'd get a margarine tub that's empty and pour it to that.
And then put a lid on it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want that smell hanging around anywhere.
No.
Really don't. Yeah. So, welcome to Top Tips.
Top tips. Everyone loves Bronja and Sammy's top tips. I lost it at the end.
Oh, well, thank you for coming back and listening to us. Please send in. I still got our Friday bake list going. Please send in your Friday bake list.
Yeah.
Send them in. Oh, something else that I wanted to say. I've had a couple of people say that they've just started listening to us, and on Spotify, you can only get back as far as episode 35.
Really?
Yeah. And I've noticed this when I've listened to other podcasts, that they kind of only let you go far enough back.
Yeah.
So if you want to listen to anything episode 35, episodes 1 and 2, I wouldn't recommend. But anything before that,
that's
if
a
you
bit
go
off, isn't it?
I know. I know. I was like, oh, and I went and double checked. I was like, maybe it's just her. No, episode 35, I think. And I think maybe once we had this one, it'd be episode 36. I don't know. If you go to Podbean, which is where we host, who hosts our podcast, if you go to Podbean, you can listen to all of them because they're our host. They have every single one that you can listen to. So you can listen to from 1 to 35 and then beyond. So if you want to listen to us, But the early days, please be kind. Don't judge too much. Sammy didn't want to be there.
No.
So Friday afternoon bake list. Still carry on sending in your additions to the Friday afternoon bake list, which is available on Spotify to listen to. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.